Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending where you live. Welcome back to another tip episode from Empower Your Voice, Unlocking Your Podcasting Potential with your host, that's me, Lillian S. Caldwell, CEO slash president of Passionate World Talk Radio Network, Educate, Enlighten, and Entertain. One of the first things you need to find out when you schedule an appointment with a potential guest or having someone else come on the show with you, possibly a co host or someone there who may just add their opinion should you ask for it. What you need to do is go over how to make a good audio recording. Now, you say to me, well, Lillian, some of these people really know what they're doing. And most of the time, I would say you're perfectly right. But then Murphy's Law kicks in. If something can go wrong, it will, or as my grandson aptly calls it, the Caldwell curse. And you can put in your own last name and make it that way. So these are a few tips you need to go over with your potential whoever, whether it's a guest, a co-host, somebody there to give you support, give you some opinions, how part of your audience come in and participate within the podcast itself. You need to explain things to them. Otherwise, as I was taught, ask you me usually happens. So what's the first thing you need to tell people? Well, the first thing is they need to soundproof their room or wherever they're going to do their whatever. Now, if you're in a park, you may have some problems. You won't be able to tell people going by in their cars or ambulances or cabs or police cars not to honk, not to turn on their sirens, whatever. However, if you're in a small enclosed space, you may want to suggest, in order to keep noise out, to put some blankets on the wall. That's what you can do. Also, if you have bare wood floors or tile floors, you can put a rug on the floor. If you have bookcases, wonderful. Books absorb sounds. You want, to put it bluntly, a quiet room. That means no babies, no alarm clocks, no pets, dogs, cats, parakeets, no children, no toddlers, and no spouses. Shut the door, put a sign on it. Do not disturb under pain of death. You don't want your radio on or your TV on. A lot of these microphones, even the ones on your laptop or tower, they're very and highly sensitive and they pick up everything. Don't believe me? Listen to some of my original podcasts that I did, and you will hear sounds on them that you will recognize: a police siren, kids outside shouting, somebody cursing, somebody losing their groceries when the bag breaks apart. All these things can influence your interview or your presentation because it's interfering with what you're trying to say. And sometimes people's voices are soft, so you don't hear them, even when you turn the volume up. Because if you have a soft voice, you have to exert more force and air behind your voice to make sure you're heard. Or you're going to sound like this, and this is too loud. That's what a microphone is for. Some of the other things that you need to remind your guest or whoever else is participating in your podcast is know your material. There's a famous story of one of the little girls on Little House on the Prairie who did not bother to learn her lines one time, and she was reamed out by Michael Landon for being unprofessional. Well, the same thing applies here. You've got to know what you're talking about, how you're going to answer within the time allowed to you. How do you do that? You practice. No, it's not memorization. You practice. You practice saying your responses. Have somebody ask you questions and learn how to think on your feet, create the sentences in your head, and then present them. That's what it's called for. I have a list in case you have not followed. So the first thing we spoke about is background noise. Get rid of it. You don't want it. Be aware of your environment. You have open windows, close them. If your box unit of AC or your fan is noisy, yes, I know you're going to tread this, turn it off. It will interfere. If you have hardwood floors, put down a rug. Put blankets on your walls to absorb the noise. Make sure you have a good microphone, a quality microphone. That doesn't mean you paid $12,000 for it. It just means there's no echoes on it or feedback on it. So test it out. Test it out with a friend or your spouse, but make sure you test it out. Then make sure that you find a good, quiet place. I used to do it when I owned a house in the basement. Trust me, it was a modified bomb shelter. Nothing penetrated those walls. And yet it was a perfect place to do podcasts and videos. The other thing that you have to remember is make sure that you don't slur your words. You don't have zzz, a hiss or a Z sound at the end of your words. Enunciate, pronounce them. If you don't know how to pronounce them, find out and then pronounce them correctly, especially names. Yeah, you have to remember all this stuff. It's important, not only to you, but your potential host who wants to put out quality work every time. Thank you very much for listening. You can hear this all over again at youtube.com/PWR Network, PW Talk Radio. Down below, you'll see the links to our free master classes being held tomorrow, April 2nd at 7 o'clock, and on Friday, April 5th at 4 p.m. You can also go over to https://education.passionateworldtalkradio.com/masterclass. Both master classes are free. Make sure you sign up, and I will be able to send you the information to come and join us. Also, on April 19th, approximately 2 weeks away, Vicky Esther Chang, an entrepreneur from Singapore who created and authored the Gold Nugget series. She wrote one on podcasting with her co-author, me, Lillian S. Caldwell, The Golden Nugget, Digital Strategies for a Digital Era. Go over to Amazon, look up Vicky, V-I-K-I, Esther Chang, look at the book, buy it. There is a workbook. Interested to go further and beyond just your basic tips? Contact me, 484-364-1032 or PWR Network LLC at gmail.com. Text me the information either way, your name, your email, and your phone number, and tell me that you are interested in learning how to podcast. Works for me. So thank you very much. Hope you have a good day. Watch out for the storms. I was out this morning. It's raining cats, dogs, and elephants. Watch out for the puddles. If you go too fast through a puddle, it will drench your engine and your car will stall. And then you'll be in a big puddle that's going to get deeper by the end of the day. Thank you all very much for joining me, and stay tuned. More daily tips are coming.